Welcome back. So today I'm coming to you live and direct from the Honeycomb Hideout. Today I'm going to talk about free tools that I use regularly. In no particular order, we're going to start with MX Toolbox. One of the ways that cybersecurity can translate to dollars is making sure your email traffic is flowing properly, be that receiving or sending. That happens by enforcing email security protocols, SPF, DKIM, DMARC. If you aren't familiar, it's a good set of skills to have in your toolbox. Being able to configure and troubleshoot when your email is having issues. So MX Toolbox helps you troubleshoot those email delivery problems. Basically, your email is signed by these different protocols. If it's not signed properly, that can slow down mail delivery. People can spoof your email address to send either malicious emails or spam. You don't want that. Either it'll get flagged by a security tool, or people will just start blocking you for sending them spam emails, and that directly affects your revenue, your customer service if you can't get a response in a timely manner for different things. What I would typically do is go to MX Toolbox, search for a domain that I'm having issues. Either I know my emails aren't getting there, or I'm not receiving emails in a timely manner, just to see whether or not there's a signing problem on my side or theirs. There's also a couple other tools that you can use there. So uh, ever so often you may end up on a blacklist for whatever reason. It offers you an option to scan for blacklist there. There's also a Whois. So if you're looking to dig deeper into a company, like you're investigating whether or not you want to do business with a new company that you found out about, how long they've been in business, where the company is registered, just second checking or fact checking things that they may have told you when they were trying to sell you on their product and their business. There's another option there. And there's like 10, 20 more other options that you can use to just do different things security related with email signing and websites and stuff like that. So definitely just go in there and poke around, see what you can find, see what might be useful for you. And yeah, MX Toolbox, number one. Next up, so you know how you'll either get an email or a text message with a link and it's shortened, um, or wrapped for whatever reason. A lot of sometimes security tools or will wrap a URL so it passes through a sandbox, analyzes that URL before it gets delivered to you. Well, wheregoes.com is a way for you to check those shortened URLs. Makes it pretty useful for tracking down errors, whether or not your security tools are blocking a link to a website, or someone saying that they can't reach your website and you just want to try to figure out what's going on. A bonus thing that they do is they have a cheat sheet for security for HTTP codes. So you can go there and see what those codes mean exactly and continue troubleshooting that way. Personally, I think short links are overhyped, but that's just me. It gets pretty annoying. The other good thing about this website is you can use it on mobile. So if you get a text message and you don't want to click a link that somebody sends you, text phishing is a big thing right now. So copy and paste that link that you got in your text message in a web browser and where it goes and see where it ends up. If it gets dropped, you know it's a dirty link. Or if it has success, and you can go check it out if you think it's legit. I definitely reach out and text back to make sure that's the person that you think you're talking to, because it's very sketchy in these streets right now. But another benefit of this website is it allows you to create a shortened URL. So if you're sending or creating a URL on your website or in an email and you think the URL just has a little bit too much information or it just looks weird and it's long and unattractive, use the URL shortener and it's all right there. You can create an account to manage those and all that, but it's an option. MITRE ATT&CK. So it was developed in 2013. It's just a free knowledge base of adversary attacks and tactics. That's how they describe it. Um, if you ever heard of a CVE, MITRE was also a part of that creation. So CVEs are typically associated with malware and vulnerabilities. So typically, if there's an attacker in a campaign, they have a CVE assigned that tells you more about it and how to patch it, that kind of thing. They were a part of that initial rollout. So they've got some skin in the game, very credible. I feel like if you're talking about security researchers, you have to mention MITRE. What essentially started out as like a spreadsheet evolved into like one of the top ways you would learn about adversaries and threat groups and whatever else. If you're trying to take a deeper dive into detection, or you heard about some campaign on the news or an email disclosure from a partner, that kind of thing, you just want to dig deeper into it. Maybe try to connect the dots and breadcrumb it together for your own environment. MITRE ATT&CK is a perfect resource for that. If you're using the antivirus, typically there'll be some reference to MITRE ATT&CK articles or whatever associated with the detection. So if you dig into the detection, it'll tell you, hey, these tactics were used. You can get a further definition of the tactics that were used or the techniques, and what sequence or what part of the attack kill chain that tactic lies in, who the originator was, and all the associated threat groups. All of it comes together pretty nicely, and it's cool to watch it develop over the years because it evolves with the different technologies. So over the years, they've added categories for texting and the text phishes, or in the voicemail phishes, and AI is getting new tactics and techniques added in there as well. So if anything, it's a good resource to keep an eye on and watch how it changes as technology evolves over the years. They also have a learning platform. So they have a learning platform called Mad20. If you really want to dive into the weeds of how it all works and maybe even get certified, they have a bunch of different certifications. You can earn CPEs, and it also is broken up into different platforms. So there's MITRE for ICS, which is your basically your manufacturing and industrial type technologies. And then you got MITRE for mobile. So it has the threats, attack groups, and TTPs and IoTs and whatever else associated with mobile attacks. So there's a lot there. I would highly recommend at least getting familiar with how it's laid out, the attack kill chain, and all the associated information that'd be valuable to work through that. And yeah, that's what I got. Pretty much just the basic resources that you might find useful in your day-to-day. Let me know in the comments, what are your favorite open source tools or free tools that you use on a daily basis? I'd like to sharpen up and get to know what you think is interesting, and maybe even improve my own workflow. Also, if you have these tools, or you know somebody that needs to be nominated for great work they're doing in the community, go to commits.dev. Render is having a gala to recognize and acknowledge everybody that's committing to open source and improving the community, and the tools will be used daily. So yeah, nominate your faves, and I hope to see y'all there at the Commits Gala.